I couldn't do it. I get too stressed out. I would not do it. I get too hot. I don't like walking or running. Like, it just wouldn't go well at all.
We're back.
We're back. Guys, today's just the three of us, Daisy, Hattie and Sapna. Here we are. Welcome back to the... I feel like we never call it what it is, but this podcast is called The Group Chat.
Yeah.
We are The Group Chat. Today, we are with Hattie, as I just said.
Yeah.
And we actually have a really special segment later marking the start of Secondhand September, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah. It's your month, babe.
I know, I'm ready. I am ready, guys. I wait all year for this.
9 months.
Literally.
And plus, I sit down with a young advocate for multiple sclerosis, also known as MS. So I speak to Amy Thompson, who was diagnosed at 20 years old. And we basically talk about her incredible charity, MS Together, her blog, and also just sort of the symptoms and what she goes through day to day. So do stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah. Guys, there's been so much going on.
Oh my God, I actually cannot.
Well, we obviously this, when you guys have heard all of these things, it'll be a little bit later, but we've been talking about Kylie Jenner Timothee Chalamet like all of last week, and I think my opinion of it has completely changed over the weekend.
Me too. Oh my God, okay.
Right, okay.
I think I've changed my mind.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, I'm sure you do. I don't know why you wouldn't, but there's obviously been loads of photos of and videos of Timothy and
Well, it started
Kylie.
as rumours, didn't it?
It did. We talked
it's
about it
been
on this
months
podcast.
of rumours.
We spoke about it on this podcast ages ago, being like, "There's rumours," and we were like, "That's not true."
And
now
because there was
it's
that
true.
picture that she posted of like them holding hands in
Yeah.
do you remember? And it was like just their hands.
I honestly...
Ages ago.
I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah, they were like in her car, and it was like I'm sure it was
I don't
on
think
her Instagram stories or something, and they were holding hands. This was honestly so long ago, and then for ages there was just them nothing. They weren't actually seen together.
I reckon they've got a PR team that have sat down with a timeline and said,
definitely.
right, you're going to soft launch here.
Yeah.
You're going to soft launch here. You're going to hard launch. Do you think there's going to be a hard launch on Insta?
Yeah. But there's like, they were at a
be.
dinner. They were at dinner the other night and like sat next to each other. But they actually look sweet together. I've got to say, like, at first I was like, oh, this is a weird pairing. And the more I've seen of them together, I'm like, I actually really see it. Like,
I'm
I
getting more
actually
into
do.
it.
They were at the US Open final last year.
Yes, I saw that. Because the Beyonce videos, which were like the first things we really saw, right? I was not into it, I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Also, I just felt like I find it quite hard to buy celebrity couples sometimes.
Agreed.
Like, is it real? I don't know.
I don't think it's real.
I didn't. And I think it started as, I think the rumours started and they probably knew each other from circles and like messaged each other like, haha, that's funny. And then they were probably like, do you want to hang out? And then it was
And
like,
I've gone along with it.
Okay, this is actually quite a,
I reckon she's rebranding. Have you seen even her fashion sense has changed?
Yeah.
She's now gone little prairie dresses and all sweet and lovely.
She's trying to do
She's
quiet
rebranding.
luxury.
I think,
She is.
I mean, I don't know. I feel
But
like,
I want to see more. I'm invested. Like,
Yeah.
I do want to see more.
I'm quite hooked now, I'm not going to lie.
I thought it was random, but when I think back to like King Kylie, like, you know, that whole era,
Her Tumblr
she's so
era.
like silly and goofy and he's so silly and goofy and I just feel like they actually are quite cute together.
But what do they talk about?
Honestly, fuck no.
I need to know.
Yeah. Because he's very, he's French. He's
I don't think he's as
sophisticated.
cool as people think he is. He's pretty goofy. Like, have you seen all the
Yeah.
videos of him doing the, like, that one he was at, what was it, like a drama school?
Oh, I've
can't
not
see
seen them anything.
I don't know. Anyway, I think he's beautiful.
I do as
Yeah,
well,
he
but I
is.
don't think he's as, like, sophisticated,
He's not okay.
prim, proper as people. I think he's quite silly, goofy.
Yeah.
Did anyone see
Fair.
the meme on TikTok of them in the bath? It was a meme.
No.
Okay, just go and look at it. It was like a meme of Stephanie's seen it. She's seen it. She's laughing. It was a meme of like them in the bath after Beyonce. And it was very funny. So what do we think's on the cards? Do we reckon, how do you think they would post on Instagram? Like, come on, are they going to co-collab, do you think?
Co-collab. I don't think Timothy even knows how to use Instagram at this point. But in other news, there's a lot of like celebrity dating stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sophie, Turner, and Joe Jonas have broken up.
What
And
do you
like-
guys think to that?
Well, can I just ask a genuine question?
Yeah.
Because when this all started happening last week, my For You page is just Team Sophie.
Yes, this is what
And I don't know if
wanted.
just my algorithm knows me really well, knows that,
Well,
in the year of Barbie, I'm not Team Joe. But also, who is seeing Team Joe content?
No, I'm not.
I'm not until literally yesterday when he at his concert he was like, if it hasn't come out of these lips, don't believe it or something, and now that's all over my.
Interesting.
Well, it was always rumoured that he is the party boy and she is the stay at home.
Really? I didn't see that, because all the interviews that she does, she's such a fun, like,
she's
out there,
cool.
quirky. Like, I don't see that.
Yeah, no, I think in interviews she has said Joe is the social butterfly.
Yeah,
I'm
seen
laid
that.
back.
But then the press are now saying that they've split up because she likes to party.
Yes, because there was all
And
those
I don't
videos
buy
of her
that.
out on a night out, as if that had anything to do with it.
Well, also she's like 27.
Yeah, like
they'll go out for a night.
But the whole thing about this is just like, why are people dissecting it as if something had to have gone on one person's, like, it's someone's fault?
But I think it's because there has been stuff in the press that people are speculating came from his camp, because it's all trashing her.
And apparently he's the one who filed for divorce.
Yeah.
But it's apparently mutual, because he put a statement out from both of them saying that it was mutual and there's nothing bad. But then it was like leaked that he filed for divorce.
Yeah.
He did that. So I think that's why people are leaning towards her
Someone's
side.
got to file. But I didn't expect that.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
They were that couple. We spoke about them actually.
Yeah, we
recently,
did.
about how they're so funny and cute together,
I
and
thought
like
they were so cute.
wouldn't expect it.
Jacob Elordi, can we just take a moment? There is just so much going on with him. He's obviously...
Seen loads.
Yeah.
How does he have the time? Because I was just thinking, when, you know, Priscilla, he must have filmed...
I think it was last year.
must
This
have been
year.
Salt Rock was during COVID.
Was
He was
it?
filming
Oh,
that
was it
during
recently?
COVID, I think.
Oh yeah, because that's
just
in your
after
town,
COVID.
isn't it?
Yes, they filmed
Is
it.
it? Oh my god,
That's
that's
my
so
little village
cool.
that I grew up in. I know, so weird.
This is all throwbacks to old episodes. But I remember you said on here that your friend was working on it.
Yes,
Isn't
she
Taylor?
was working. Yeah, she was working on set, so she got a great gig, a summer job. Yeah, and she looked after his
Can you
dog.
imagine
so
getting that
cool.
job and then like walking to work? I mean,
But in terms of like cinematography, I am a sucker for just like good color palette and all of that. And Salt Rock looks
so good.
amazing. For those listening, it's about two boys are at Oxford University. One of them sort of struggling to find his way. So Jacob Elordi's character invites him back to his like aristocratic family home.
And that's Barry Keogh, by the way.
You're
Who is an
correct.
up and coming actor. He is.
Yes, I
really
think we're going to
coming
see a
up.
lot more
Yeah.
of him. He's in the new season of Top
Oh,
Boy.
Yeah,
yeah.
He was in Batman as well. He was the Joker at the very end.
he? Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
so he's going to be
that.
the Joker if they do another.
He gives me Taron Egerton vibes.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is. Something about
what you
him.
mean, yeah.
Anyways, they go back to his family home for the summer, and I think they just have like a wild time. I mean, it looks like it's just filmed beautifully. The trailer doesn't really give much away.
No, I kind of like that. It's a
Yeah.
bit like it is giving a bit of Euphoria vibes, like just the lighting and like the CD like vibe. I don't know why that's.
I know what you
correctly.
mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it's like Talented Mr. Ripley vibes and Great Gatsby. That's what I'm looking. I haven't watched a film like that in ages.
so
It's younger. as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the two get together. Like that's what I can work
them
out.
two do?
I do. That's where I see the story going. Yeah.
He's just both of them are really stunning. And then Priscilla.
Oh, I can't wait for Priscilla.
Also, did you see him on the red carpet? It all blew up. Like my For You page was just
Oh, his outfit.
everything.
Just him.
It was just him to these sexy sounds. They were only about 5-second clips and they were just blowing up left, right, and centre. Kai Gerber has now dated both of the Elvises.
Who was the other one?
Austin Butler.
Yeah.
So she's got with both the Elvises.
She is absolutely winning that.
But I'm excited because that's quite pressure. Like as a role, that's big.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to see Jacob do something more serious.
Yeah.
Like, not serious, but
No, but I think it will be quite a heavy film because it's all about Priscilla's life. Because she was so young when she married.
yeah. How old actually was she?
I think like
Early 20s.
yeah, I think that they met when she was still a teenager.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at school I think.
Yeah, it's a really interesting story, and it's obviously Sophia Coppola, who's great at like adolescence femininity films.
Yeah.
And
What's she been in before?
she directed.
Oh, she was
did,
directing.
like Marie Antoinette, Somewhere,
Okay.
Virgin Suicides, really big pictures, so great. And the film is sort of inspired / based on Priscilla's memoir.
She's given it the stamp.
Elvis's
hasn't
estate
she?
said they hated it, basically. They've said it's horrible. It's like a college movie. But Priscilla has really praised it.
And it is meant to be a
So-
bit more based on her than Elvis.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
Obviously, we
around
had
her.
Austin
Well, it
Butler's
seems a bit.
Elvis.
Yeah, and that was amazing.
Amazing.
I didn't
but
see it.
do you know what? I did really like it. I
know,
felt like
you
it went
really
on
should
for a
have.
bit long.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
it
The way
was good.
filmed
It was really good.
Really cool. And apparently, yeah, Austin Butler literally locked himself away during COVID in a room. Don't quote me for this, but he put pictures of Elvis all around his bedroom and sort of, what's it called?
Oh,
Method
method
acting.
acting.
And he's
Yeah,
fully,
yeah.
But clearly he's not got out of it because the accent's
Well,
still-
Yeah, but a lot
he
of
fully
actors
method
do that.
acted into
Yeah.
his like he did not see anyone apparently, and that's why he has that voice, whatever. and it's not lesbian.
Wow.
It's not lesbian.
But have you guys been watching any TV? Obviously, Top Boy just came out.
I have to admit, I've not watched any.
I've not watched any of
Guys,
it.
please, if you do one thing, just go back and watch. It is my favourite show
Is it?
on any streaming.
Wow.
Why do you love it so much?
I don't know. It's just so fast paced. And the characters, you just get so invested in the characters. There's so many different storylines going on. And obviously, they don't, well, it's, I don't know. I particularly after this latest season, I have wondered, like, does it glamorize that whole gangster lifestyle? But I also actually think they do it to such a point where it's so violent. So you'd hope that impressionable boys wouldn't want that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because they're rolling around in, 70 grand cars and living the life.
Yeah.
But it's just brilliant. And this season was, I'm not going to give any spoilers away. There was a really interesting thing right at the end, which I didn't actually clock straight away. I saw it on TikTok that basically something happens and you think it's someone, but actually looking at it, it's not who you think it is. So there could be
I love that kind of
a next season. But
I need to watch
they
this.
have killed so many characters off now.
Yeah, I've heard that. To be fair, I don't know anything about it, so I'm not like spoiled by it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I keep hearing that people are getting killed off. So.
But I think there was an exhibition actually. I think it's on at the moment. It's called Top Boy Portraits or something in London. I really want to see if I can go. I might try and go this week, but guys, it is so good. I watched it in a day.
Really?
Did you? Yeah. But did you know that Drake recommissioned it because they finished it last season, and then it's his favorite program, so he got in touch with them like, is there going to be another season? They were like, sorry, no, and he was like, I will pay for another season.
my God.
And so he now owns it.
Imagine if you could do that for your favourite show.
Imagine. Oh my God, what show would you bring back? Gossip Girl.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Which none of us know.
Sorry, but apparently that they are. I don't know if this is true, but apparently they're doing another Gossip Girl with the original
I don't know
cast.
if I believe it.
I don't know if I believe
because
it either.
that's been resurfacing on my TikTok.
In the last week, pretty much.
But it's from like a post from April or something. I don't know if I'm...
Well, I just feel like no one likes, as in the original cast don't want to do it. Like Lady Lisa hates Gossip Girl, basically.
Taylor
Momsen
said she would
just went on
never
that.
do it.
Yeah, she just went on a podcast with Penn
Penn.
Badgley.
I want to listen to that. Actually.
I've just started listening to it. It's really good.
Yeah, I
don't think
I
any
don't
of
know. I'm not
them-
convinced it's going to happen. I would love if it did.
Yeah, same. But that is
got, like,
Guys, I've
grown
never
up.
watched it.
what?
Oh my God, Daisy.
Really?
It is. I
God,
rewatched
first Harry
it.
Potter, now this.
You
You've had
need to-
okay,
I will.
It's very easy watching,
Yeah.
but it is quite dramatic. I mean, it's very over dramatic.
I love that though. I love that. What other TV are you guys watching?
I watched Painkiller, which I think was really good. And just like really quickly, it's about the opioid epidemic back in the, I want to say 90s, maybe it was even before that. And it's about this pharmaceutical company who essentially marketed and sold this drug, which was meant to be like the safest, least addictive painkiller on the market. And actually it was like 1% different from heroin. So it created this epidemic
They all
of
got
addiction
addicted to it.
Yeah.
which was horrible. And actually at the start of every episode, there's a real family who's lost someone from OxyContin addiction, being like, this is obviously a fictionalized story, but this is a real thing. And so every episode starts with that, which is really like gut-wrenching to watch at the start. But it's actually a really good story, and they've done it really well. Good actors. I do really recommend it. But it is.
I've
like,
watched episode 1, but need to go back and finish.
it's almost like a time I didn't even know that had happened.
Yeah.
But it's such a big, and it still affects. Like it's still available now.
Because the only reason I really know about it is, Matthew Perry's Sophie.
Yeah.
I feel like when it came out, you recommended the book to me on the podcast. I've listened to the audio book, and he was addicted to it. And he talks about his life, like how it was affected by it, and when he was filming Friends and stuff. So that's all I really know about it. But it's quite interesting to hear someone's first-hand account from. So I'll give the show a go.
I think it's 5 or 6 episodes. But what I was like really surprised, and this is not a spoiler, is at the end it says that the people responsible, so the people who own this pharmaceutical company, Purdue Pharma, I think it's called, they still haven't been. Not all of them have been like sent to jail, or like it's still ongoing.
Wow.
And it's happened like over 10 years ago or something. So it's crazy that they've profited off it still in today, of all these people who've died and all these like lives. Like it's.
Oh, that's so
I don't know
sad.
how that can be a thing, because I'm sure that there are pharmaceutical companies who still do that, like falsely advertise and falsely market. Like it just can't. I don't know how that's a thing.
Nah.
It's crazy.
On a lighter note, have you guys ever watched Race Across the World?
No.
Okay, so it's BBC, and it starts with like normal civilians, and they'd pair up. So it might be like,
I have seen this.
yeah, so it might be like the two of us as good friends, or you and your sister, or it might be you and your dad, or whatever. So they basically have to cross the world. but they only get given a certain amount of money. And they obviously have a cameraman that comes with them on the journey, but they film everything. So, and it's basically, they have different checkpoints that they have to get to.
Yeah.
And then when they get to the checkpoints, they can stay in like a really nice hotel. But between each checkpoint, they have to literally use their money how they wish to do it. So, you know, they might get overnight buses instead of going to a hostel, but whatever, or they might lose their money and then they have to go and work. And a lot of them, they have to work on the way to build their money back up. But the last season was amazing, and it's just so sweet. Some of the relationships, like there was this lovely mother and her adopted son, and they just had the loveliest relationship, and they had issues growing up, and it was just so nice. Anyway, it's a celebrity one starting this week.
It's a bit like Hunted, kind of, but they're not being hunted. It's the same.
It's filmed
idea.
the same. Yeah, exactly. It's filmed the same, and they do local work, or they meet people that let them stay for free or whatever. So there's Harry Judd from McFly and his mum.
Cute.
Billy Monger, who was the F1 rider who lost his legs in an accident. Him and his sister, they're really close. And what was that girl band, All Saints?
Oh yeah, loved All Saints.
Is it Melanie? She's on it. But who would you do it with if you were to do that? Who do you reckon you could do it with?
Oh my god,
I probably would do it with my sister.
Would you?
I feel like she'd be. We're like both.
But who would be the like organizer? Or are you both like? Would one of you take a certain role in? Because I financially probably wouldn't be great, but I'd be good at making decisions.
Yeah, you'd be good to have. I would be the most hot. Like I would just not do it. I couldn't do it. I get too stressed out. I would not do it. Get too hot. I don't like walking or riding. Like it just wouldn't go well at all. So I think not me. Don't choose me, Daisy. I think you'd be really good. I would very organised.
I would love to do something.
You're good in like pressure as well. I'd be like, but I can't do it.
It's there's just so many ups and downs.
Yeah, I bet.
Things happen, and
well, also I think because you don't know what's coming. Like if someone makes the wrong decision, or like the wrong decision, you have to really trust that other person's not going to get really pissed off with you and be like, I don't want to do this with you anymore.
And they start blaming it. Well, it was your fault. You did that, and then some of them bump into each other on the journey. So they might be like, well, which way are you going then?
Because are they trying to do it in the fastest time?
Fastest time, exactly. And so when they get to each checkpoint, they open this sort of visitors book, and they can see which teams have come in first. So, but it's I think it's so legit in terms of they are literally left to their own devices. They have a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
But guys, you've got to watch it. It's really fun. Like it's on every week.
What's it on?
It's on BBC.
Okay.
I think it's every Wednesday now. And it's celebrity, so it'll be fun to see the steps.
Yeah.
So I'm delighted to be joined on the sofa today with Amy Thompson, who navigates life with the challenges of multiple sclerosis, also known as MS. So each week, 130 people are diagnosed with a condition which for many can be debilitating. So we're going to talk today to Amy about her diagnosis, about your brilliant charity MS Together and your blog. Yeah. So excited to have you on. Thank you for having me. Oh, absolute pleasure. Let's start from the beginning. Can you sort of tell us a little about your journey with MS and how you ended up being diagnosed?
Yeah, of course. I was 20 at the time. I was actually on my year abroad from university. So I was living and working in Paris, literally living my best life, like loving life. And then from one day to the next, I started experiencing symptoms. Just woke up one day with numbness in my left leg. And it wasn't like completely numb, but it just didn't feel right.
And prior to this, you'd had
nothing
from sort of when you were born to age 20?
Nothing that I'd like noticed anyway. Started walking around, noticed like I wasn't quite steady on my feet, wasn't great with balance, and ignored it for, a few days. And it just progressively got worse over those days. My balance was getting worse. Eventually, I plucked up the courage to go to the doctor.
Well, also, when you're away from home, you probably were putting it off and thinking, it's not as straightforward as if you were at home. You could just give your local doctor.
I had no idea, who to go to. So,
how was your French?
Questionable. So, I went to my manager at the time and I just said, this has happened. I need a doctor. Yeah. Can you recommend me one? So, she sent me to her doctor. Went for an appointment with him and he just kind of said I don't think it's anything to worry about. Could be just like a trapped nerve. Don't worry. But we can send you for some tests. So went for a blood test and a CT scan. They came back fine. But during the time of waiting for those results, I had noticed a new symptom. So I had pins and needles in my left arm. So went back to him and kind of just said, you know, this has happened now. I'm getting a bit more worried. And again, he was just like, I don't think it's anything to worry about. And I said, look, can you just send me for an MRI scan? Because I'd been doing some Googling, you know, as you do.
Yeah.
You know, scary things were coming up, like MS, a brain tumour was one of the things that were coming up. So I was just like, I need to get this.
Yeah. Well, it's good you pushed for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So went to have an MRI scan. And then I decided I was just going to fly home and go and see a neurologist with the results and just kind of get some answers. And literally she sat me down and she was like, yeah, you've got MS.
What was that moment like?
It was weird because I think I'd kind of prepared a little bit for it because I'd been doing lots of research, and MS kind of made sense based on the symptoms that I was having. I guess there was a bit of relief that I had answers, but then I was also like, I don't know what that means
now. Yeah.
And they just kind of gave me some leaflets and said an MS nurse will be in touch.
Okay.
So it was all very quick, like from the start of the symptoms to diagnosis, it was about 3 weeks, which is so much quicker than most people. Like for some people,
well, I mean,
it takes
even
years.
trying to get hold of a neurologist, and everyone's symptoms are different, aren't
Yeah.
they? So what are yours?
There's lots of different types of MS. The type that I have is relapsing remitting. And that's like the most common, like I think it's 85% of people with MS have that type. So that means that I have periods of relapses. So that's where my symptoms that I've had previously get worse, or I have new symptoms. And then there's periods of remission where I'm fine.
You're fine.
And,
Yeah. Okay.
Like, yeah.
And can that be based on external factors like your mental health or your stress?
Stress.
Yeah. Okay.
A big one's stress. So like I have to try, like I'm quite a stressy person anyway. If I'm really, really tired, that can bring on certain symptoms.
What else do you experience?
The symptom I experience like every day is fatigue.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty common for most people with MS. Weird one is heat sensitivity.
Interesting. Well, it's been hot at the
I know,
moment, hasn't it?
honestly. So I don't deal well with like being too hot or being too cold. It can just flare up like old symptoms. One thing that a lot of people with MS experience is something called brain fog. When I have a relapse, it would be things like numbness, difficulty walking. I decided quite early on that I was going to be quite vocal about it. I don't know if it was part of like my coping mechanism, but I think when I was first diagnosed, I wanted to see other people talking about it that were like me. And so
you don't really hear, I mean, the stat I said at the beginning, 130 people diagnosed every week, and a lot are young, right? I don't hear enough about MS at all.
No.
So did you know much about it at all at the beginning?
Nothing.
No.
I didn't know anyone that had it until afterwards, and then it seemed like I knew loads of people.
Well, you said, you wouldn't necessarily know, would you, that someone has it?
I knew nothing about it, just started researching, and the research that I saw and everything I saw online, like through charity websites and on social media, it wasn't nice. Like, not that MS is nice anyway, but it was all very negative. It was all, you know, about people being in wheelchairs, people like really struggling with day-to-day life.
Well, this then obviously led you on to your own charity, MS Together. Yeah. So is that when you saw almost like a gap in the market for, you know, providing information or, you know, a positive outlook?
It all started with my blog. So as I said before, like straight away, I knew I wanted to kind of share my story, be really open with like my friends and family, and just try and like raise a bit of awareness, change kind of the view that people had about MS. You know, I constantly had comments like, you're too young to have MS, like I don't get it because you look really well, like you don't look like you have MS. It just kind of inspired me to start raising awareness about.
So you started with a blog, so you started writing what, all your symptoms or what you're
just like
every day?
Everything.
Really?
Like anything that was kind of related to like young people or my life at the time. So I was at university still, so I was writing about that, like dealing with exams, dating, going to hospital appointments, like literally everything. And it really helped just generally share my story. And then through that, I had loads of young people kind of reach out to me and say how much it had helped them and how nice it was to see someone young and how they'd been looking for someone else. Like,
well, you said that at the beginning. You know, there wasn't something like that.
Yeah, so it was also like really informative for my friends and family. I think it meant that I didn't have to like sit down and talk to them about all this. They could just like read
the blog.
I set up an Instagram account called But You Don't Look Ill. Just started sharing bits on there. Also interviewed like people with other conditions, because being diagnosed with MS like just opened my eyes to how many other people live with so many other things that you just don't hear about and you can't see just by looking at them. And that's kind of where I got inspiration to just put all these people that were reaching out together.
Yeah.
So I set up just a WhatsApp group chat to start with. It grew really slowly to begin with. The first year there were probably only about 30, 35 people.
So that's quite a lot, yeah. How many have you got now?
Like over 1,000.
Amazing.
Yeah. And like people can access our services and stuff from different ways now, whereas before it was just like a Facebook page. One thing that I'm very aware of is like different people need different things at different points in their like MS journey. And I think my main thing is just connecting young people together, because that's all I wanted. I just wanted to speak to someone that was also young, that was also like getting on with their life.
And that just got it. They knew what you were going through. Yeah.
Understood.
So your virtual events.
Virtual events.
So what kind of ones do you do?
We do between 4 and 6 a month. So we have like social ones, which are like the games night, the cuppa and chat. We do like a welcome one for anyone that's new that joins during that month. We also do informative ones. This month we had one with the UK MS Register, and they were talking about pregnancy and MS, which obviously affects quite a lot of our demographic. And then we also do in-person meetups as well.
Really nice.
At different places across the country.
And you do this all alongside your normal job as well, which is also
I've got a team of volunteers.
Have you?
Yes,
Okay.
Which is a godsend.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, do you ever feel the pressure of needing to, wanting to represent MS and sort of all of the symptoms and everything? Because obviously you must have your down days as well. And, how do you cope with that?
I think I'm at a point in my life and like in my MS journey where I feel very like content with the whole MS thing. Like 2-3 years ago, I would have said the same, but I actually
looking back, okay,
I wasn't there, but I do genuinely feel like so happy, and I think I've developed like coping strategies. I now prioritize like exercise so much because I've seen how much it's helped me. Like just even with my fatigue, like it just massively helps.
Well, I think that's so inspiring as well for the people that are joining your community and are looking at you thinking you've got MS and you're still living an amazing life. You're prioritizing self-care, you're prioritizing exercise, and you're doing all of this. And I think for them, it's probably so nice to be able to see you and see sort of, connect with like other like-minded individuals that are all going through the same thing.
I hope so. And I think the thing with MS Together is we try and keep it as positive as possible. Yeah. Like obviously people are going to have their down days and people can have a moan whenever they want. But the general feeling of it is always just positive. And just like young people trying to live their lives as best as they can.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Amy. I think you are so inspiring, and the fact you're shouting about MS and informing more people is amazing. So thank you so much, and do give Amy's blog a follow and her Instagram at
MS Together Official.
Brilliant.
On it.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Moving on to things we're loving.
Yes. Hattie, do you want to go first?
Yeah. I have a follow who I'm loving on TikTok. So she's called Soko. Her handle is Style with Soko. And she just has the coolest style. She lives in New York, and a lot of her TikToks are like her walking down the street and one of her friends will be like, Soko, what are you wearing today? And she just like chats through her outfit.
I love that.
But she wears a lot of colour and she's really good at styling secondhand pieces. So she thrifts stuff in New York and then will like do hauls and then chat through how she's going to style them. So I'm loving her for autumn inspo. She just got some red Mary Janes, like quilted secondhand, and they are so cool. I feel like I need some of those. So I'd really recommend her if you just want some style inspo. And I've also been following on Instagram this shop called Break Archive. You heard of them?
Yes.
Secondhand, it's like pre-loved designer bags, but really, really cool, like very curated stuff. So they have like the Dior saddle bags, but in really fun patterns, and the Louis Vuitton Speedies with like the cherries on. So it's all like the fun pre-loved design.
How fun, like that being your job, just sourcing.
Oh yeah, I know. So cool. They have some really great stuff. Still kind of out of my budget, but there's a great window shopping. Yeah. And their content on Instagram is really cool.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd really recommend checking them out.
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, I think you'd like them. It's very your vibe, I think. They're very cool.
Sap, what are you loving?
I am loving another follow. I mean, this is such a random one, but do you guys know who Robert Irwin is?
No.
So do you know Steve Irwin?
Yeah.
That's his son.
It's his son, and he has TikTok, and it's literally he is Steve Irwin like reincarnated. But obviously he's his son. But oh my god, I watched him yesterday save a snake from a vending machine, and I was like crying about it. I was obsessed with Steve Irwin when I was a child. Like I genuinely, when he died, I cried. I don't know this man, but I was so upset. And it's just so sweet seeing his kids, like his daughter as well, Bindi, does stuff as well.
Because I remember them being tiny.
They are full grown adults. He was driving a car. I was like, no, am I old? Because they are old. So how old am I? But anyway, yeah, I love that. It's such like light relief, like so sweet. Just
I
to, like,
love
scroll
a
and
follow
watch.
a suggestion like this.
Yeah,
It's so sweet. The other thing I'm loving, I've finally moved to overhead headphones. I'm very late to the party, but I genuinely love it. So I've got a pair of Beats, and they are so good. I wore them on the plane. It was like everyone shut out, like noise cancelling, loved them. The final thing I'm loving is, have you guys seen that interview with Drake and Lil Yachty? Like just them two, and they're like on a beach or something. I don't really know what's going on, but it's so good. And it's like them just taking the piss out of each other, but they've got such a sweet relationship, and Drake just loves a giggle. Like he is just so cute. Like the way he laughs is so funny. But it's them like taking the piss out of like rappers when they like bring someone out on stage. They'll act like they haven't seen them like 5 minutes earlier, and it's like
That's jokes.
I've
I've
so
never
funny.
seen him in that kind of
Drake's so funny.
Environment.
No.
The two of them together are so, like, if they had a podcast, it would do so well. Like, they're so funny.
Oh,
so I really recommend that. Are you, Dace?
Got another foodie one.
Oh, gosh, she
I love a foodie rack. So, Doughlicious, you know they do the cookies.
Yeah.
So
The frozen,
good.
I mean, hopefully most people have tried them. If you haven't, get your ass down to the frozen section. But they come as frozen cookie dough balls, and you put them on a tray and put them in the oven. Anyway, they've got cookie dough ice cream balls.
Oh,
So they're like little moons, but instead of the
crunchy.
mochi, they've got cookie dough. Then it's ice cream on the middle. So there's like Eton mess, churro, chocolate chip.
I knew
that
this
sounds so
immediately.
And it's the perfect size. You know, when you just need a sweet treat and a
Yeah.
craving, it's just hits the
Oh
spot.
my god.
What else am I loving? Okay, so obviously we're going into autumn winter, and we will do a podcast a bit more on autumn and winter fashion predictions, etc. But I've seen the new braided platform Uggs. Have you seen them?
No.
Oh my guys, they're sick. So
Braided.
So the Ugg platforms, the minis, and they've got now like a braided bit down the side, and they're like colourful. So I think there's like a green colourway or a red colourway, and I really rate them. But are they going to be here to stay? They were obviously huge last
There were
season.
those like Tasman ones.
Yeah.
That Elsa Hosk had, and they're kind of like
were cool.
like
They're
got
a bit
colour.
done in now, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to a pair, but
Oh, yeah.
see what you think of these.
It's for me. It's not the style. It's the platform. I think the platforms are done.
see, I love that bit.
Oh,
That's the bit I
is
love.
it?
Yeah. Well, I think as a short girl,
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
I like that. You know,
You need the
I
hype.
need that.
I like the little bit of colour and like a little bit of something different.
Yeah.
So it's not like just like ugh, but I don't think I want a platform
Okay.
chunky one. I just want like an easy one.
Like
the
the
mini
mini ones, just
Yeah.
remind me too much of my childhood.
Oh, I think maybe it's
And
because
you
I
know-
didn't have any.
I didn't either.
Well, I
Even my
didn't have
inner
real
child.
ones. I didn't have real ones. But do you remember when you didn't have the real ones, your feet would slant in, and then you'd be walking like just like it would be the biggest egg.
Oh my god. Well, no, I like the slip-on situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I wouldn't have like a full boot.
I like
but-
the minis or the ultra mini.
Yeah, ultra mini.
I think that's what I want. But I couldn't get any last year.
Who remembers the knitted ones with the 3 buttons? I had a great pair.
Oh my god! I had
thought they were
completely forgotten
with my Joni, like my Joni jeans,
Oh, I can imagine it.
knitted.
Oh, what is
and they were kind of, you could like ruche them down.
No.
They were a bit like leg warmers on your boot.
They were. And then it was so nice when they really got wet and started slanting.
Oh yeah, real. Oh,
I remember wanting to wear them to church once. And like, you're not wearing them to church.
We need a photo. I need a photo. Of this.
Like, well, I'll find one.
Oh my god.
Anything else? Oh, we've got matching cherry keyring.
Yes.
So not another bill. I've always wanted a cool keyring, and it's
Yeah.
something you just would never like.
No,
you would
no.
never.
It feels more like a gift.
But honestly, get one for yourself because it
so
just
sweet.
you just feel so cool together.
I know. I'm like holding them when I go to
Yeah.
get like some oat milk. I'm
You
like,
would love it. It's like a big squishy cherry.
yeah, I think I've seen yours.
It's
I
really
really want one. Okay, I'm gonna have to
Really
get one
sweet.
so I can match 2 guys.
And finally, I've got a beauty rec. Rimmel have just launched these new lip glosses.
Yeah.
I've got it here with me. So it's their new Thrill Seeker Glassy Gloss, and it is just the perfect go-to. So they come in loads of different flavours and colours, but it's got a slight tint.
Got a bit of a scent as well. It's like a pineapple.
So this is cocoa sugar. Oh, it tastes so good, guys.
Oh,
Hang on, I've got a few. Yeah, right. So I've got Hattie, I've got you, pink candy.
Thank you. Oh my god, cute.
That's the cocoa sugar as well.
Lovely.
Oh, I live for a lip gloss, guys.
I know, me too.
But it's not too thick. It's perfect.
It's got hyaluronic acid in it as well, so it's really like hydrating.
It smells so nice.
Feels like a lip oil.
Yeah, it's not sticky at all.
Apparently, this is my Jammer's new favourite lip gloss.
Is
That's
it?
what I've had. They've got a clear one, or like a clearish one, and then some of them have a bit more of a tint, so you can wear it on top of other things, or you can just wear it on its own. It's like
Yeah.
very nice.
And they taste so good.
Yeah, they
It really
really
does.
do.
It's become my absolute new go-to. I don't leave the house without putting one of these in my handbag. But yeah, Rimmel's new Thrill Seeker Glassy Gloss.
Love.
Lovely. Well, shall we go through what we're wearing? Hattie, do you want to start?
I am wearing my Stradivarius cowboy boots, which, you know, I don't take off, honestly. It's ridiculous. I need to get a new pair. I'm in a Topshop maxi skirt, which is super comfy. And then my tee is just Gap and a little thrifted quilted gilet.
I love that.
Oh, thanks. I am wearing linen trousers from Zara. These have done me so well this season. Black Adidas Sambas, which are brand new and I'm also loving.
Love.
And then this top is from Legam. Have you guys heard of Legam?
Yeah.
No, only through you on Instagram.
Yeah, their stuff is so cool. They've got some really cool graphic tees, a bit like Dani. And their autumn winter stuff is mega.
I'll
yeah.
have a look.
And pilgrim jewelry.
Nice. I love that necklace.
Sat.
I'm in my good old Havas Studios blazer, bringing it back out for autumn. I'm nearly there. I've got my mango tank and sporting rich little boxer shorts and my Adidas Velvet Sambas.
I love those shorts.
Yeah.
Cute. They're a little bit short sat down, but
So cool.
they're very comfy. Great. Well, next up we've got our segment with Dani, and we're going to be doing a Q&A for Secondhand September. Okay, guys, so we are here with Dani Dawkins from Shelter, and we're going to do a special Q&A to kick off Secondhand September. So let's get into it. You guys excited?
I'm excited. I'm
excited.
nervous. I'm like, I hope I know the answers.
Yeah, of course. Well, before we start, do you mind telling our listeners, watchers, who you are, what Shelter is? Just give us a little bit of background.
So my name's Dani and I am a master upcycler. And I was working with Shelter just over the weekend because we were doing the upcycle clinic, which allowed people to come to the store with stuff that they maybe own but have fallen out of love with. It might need mending, or they just want to change it slightly because they're not happy with it. The lady brought in her trousers because they didn't fit her well, and she said every time she wears them they fall down, and she really likes them, so we put some darts in. Another lady just had a simple strappy dress, so with spaghetti straps, and she's like, it was so simple that she just doesn't like the straps, and she thought maybe we can make it into a halter top. So I said, all right, go in the changing room. So when she was in the changing room, I got my scissors and just snipped them at the back where it joins, and I was like, there you go. And she's like,
Oh my god, easy.
So good.
and it's nice because then they get to see that it doesn't have to. I think when people think of upcycling, sometimes they're like, it has to be a big change, because I do quite big transitions and stuff, but it's not. Sometimes it really is just a simple little snip or a simple little take in here, a couple of pins, and there you go. Yeah,
Well, that actually leads us on very well to our first question,
amazing.
which is, what is the easiest way to upcycle denim? Now, I need to know this.
So do I.
I've got a lot of pairs of denim jeans that are either too long, what's your go-to, like to jazz it up or like to do something to them?
I love working with denim. Denim is my favorite fabric to work with because it's just so versatile, I find. I think the easiest thing is cutting them. So if you have a pair of denim jeans, the easiest thing is cutting them into shorts. It's fun. You can fray the bottoms or you can roll them up and iron them. But also hemming tape is really useful. And I love saying this to people because even if you wanted to do a under hem, so it looks neat, and you just iron in the hemming tape and it fuses it together. The heat fuses it together.
Oh, so that's just, you put it at the bottom and then it kind of sticks it so it's short.
So
I'm just there for you, stop me.
That is my key. I always say to people, like, if you don't know how to sew or you just want that clean finish, it's amazing.
Can't believe I didn't know about that.
Fabric glue as well is amazing. So I write words on my clothes as well, so I write extra on a lot of my stuff. And when I first started, I used to use a lot of hemming fabric glue to just put things on, put things on.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Because that's a big trend on TikTok, like on the bum.
Yeah.
The little stars.
Yeah.
And everyone's doing like the Harry Styles concert.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's what I would do, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a little like embroidery
star.
thing or the
Yeah,
dazzle.
embroidery.
Remember dazzles were like a thing.
Oh,
I actually would
love
love to get like it on. I've got loads of denim jackets. I'd quite like to do like either a patch or
Like on the pocket or
Yeah.
something. Or on the cuff. That would look really
I think that's a
cool.
nice
Dazzle. Or letters. For my sister's
Yeah.
birthday recently, we did cake crafts and cocktails. And we
Oh
all
my
brought
gosh.
t-shirts.
Sounds
And just
fun.
got those, you can get like letters.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
iron on. And we all just ironed on our t-shirts.
And it's just so, this is why I love doing workshops as well, because it's so fun, because everyone leaves with something that is unique to them.
Yeah. Which is so fun. And then when someone asks, you can say, I actually made it myself.
Which is such a great feeling.
It is. So nice, right?
Have either of you attempted not tie-dye but like dyeing your jeans?
I actually
Anyway.
haven't.
Have you not?
Bleach. Yeah, I do like, you just dash them in the bath and then go, shh.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
And-
I've done that.
Yeah.
Did it turn out well?
They turned out well. Like I actually had to make something, thank goodness, because someone actually paid me. Like one of my clients actually commissioned me to do an outfit for her for Carnival, to basically made a top out of her jeans, like turned it upside down, so like the waistband was here and then the sleeves for the arms, and then made some jeans for her as well, just customized the jeans and put loads of scraps of denim on it. And then last minute she was like, "Can you bleach it for me?" And I'm like, yeah. The only problem with bleach is that not all denim bleach as well. So
Yeah.
I think the jeans were Levi's. And I think some of their jeans, they put a sealant on it
Right.
so that it can't dye. And I'm there like, I had to dilute it. And then I was like, okay, I got to put this on just bleach. And you got to be careful because it can ruin the fabric.
Is there anything you've currently got your eye on that you're on the hunt for secondhand? Anything?
Yes.
Okay, chef.
Okay,
Do
so
tell.
when I went to Shelter in King's Cross,
Yeah.
I popped into Beyond Retro.
I
And they
love
had
it
this-
in there.
I know.
It's so
They're
good.
so good.
So cool. So they had this denim jacket in there, and I was while I was in there, I was recording myself. So everyone that saw the jacket, they were like, "You should get it." So it was like a vintage, kind of biker style jacket, oversized, and then the sleeves they zipped on. So I was like, "Oh my god, double up!" Take the sleeves
little
off.
gilet.
Yeah, it was so cute. And then I thought, okay, I'm not going to get it. So then when I went back a couple of days later to actually do the workshop with them, I thought, if it's there, I'm going to get it.
meant to be.
It's meant to be.
Yeah.
It's for me. So I went to exactly where it was and none of the jackets were there. So I was like, let me see if someone's tried it on. Don't know what made me feel. I was very directed to where it was. And I was like, look at you just sitting there waiting for me. So I picked it up, tried it on again. And I looked at the price and I was like, I'm a thrifter.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to spend £50 on a
Yeah.
jacket. Like I can thrift myself.
Yeah.
So I was like, I like you. Do I like you that much?
Yeah.
So I left it and then I went on Vinted.
Did you? Oh my
I
god.
haven't found it yet though.
Have you
but
not?
I found something similar and I was like, I can just make the rest of it myself.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is such a good skill to have. I feel like I need to learn how to.
I know
do
I'm
these
too
things.
impulsive with that kind of thing. But that is the best when you find it somewhere else.
Yeah,
I
it
do that
is.
all the time, especially with like things that have gone out of stock, like on Zara
Yes.
or something like that. Like the thing that always got, and then you
Yeah.
find it on Vinted or
Yeah.
Depop,
Oh, it's the
I'm like,
best
done it.
feeling.
Or you find it like 3 years later in a charity shop. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, there
Yeah.
it is. That's gonna happen with that viral Zara bomber jacket that everyone.
Oh
has
my
this
god, yeah.
year.
There's a viral dress.
Yes, there's a viral bomber jacket. It's like a grey, and there's a white version as well. And basically, everyone on TikTok got it this year. And in like
It's
a year's
sold out
time,
everywhere.
it's going to be in every charity shop ever.
Exactly. And so you want to wait because this
Yeah.
is the thing. When I first started thrifting, I was like, I loved it because no one had it.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
last season. And then even when I used to shop in the high street stores, I would buy something and be like, oh, I'll just wear it in a couple months.
Yeah.
Or I'll wear it next year or something. I'll put it up for next year. Just so that when I was wearing it, it was like, when did you get that? 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You can't get this anymore.
Exactly.
So-
The vibe is so changed. It's not like, oh, everyone needs to have that new thing. That's
Yeah,
it's like
so
having
true.
something that's a bit different.
I
It's like,
love
Yeah,
that.
and even if you are shopping trends, I feel like you can still shop them secondhand.
for sure.
And then they might be like last season or whatever, but you're still on trend and feel like,
Yeah.
because you don't want to feel left out sometimes, I think,
Yeah.
of trends. Like, you want to have your own style, but feel like,
Yeah.
you're in
You've got, for
Yeah.
sure. Well, Hattie, have you got anything? Guys, or
So
anything?
this isn't groundbreaking, but it's quite niche. I really, really want for autumn winter some like pointed brown kitten heels, and I found so many on Vinted for like they're like £5 for a
Yeah.
pair of shoes, and I'm not I'm sort of getting into shopping shoes secondhand because it's always been a bit of a, I don't know, a question mark for me. It's not how I feel about wearing someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for it.
Go for it.
Because there are just so many good deals and they're all like pretty good high street brands.
I'm like all about coats. I'm like literally coat obsessed. I've got way too many at home. I actually just did a big charity shop, like took loads of my coats somewhere. But I am on the hunt for a C, C New York, as an S-E-A, C New York. They do these amazing like printed quilted coats.
Yes,
and they're like ridiculously expensive. But I'm on the hunt for one. I've been on Vestiaire, I've been on Depop, everything. I have found a couple, still very much out of my price range, but that's what I've got my eyes on.
You'll find one.
I'm
sure.
And also there's that House of Sunny. There's like their original bomber jacket they did. It was the green and white one. They've done quite a few since, and I've actually got one of them. But I want that original one, the green and white, because no one really has it anymore.
No, I've not seen it in ages.
Yeah, and I have found it on Depop, but again, I'm waiting to find one that's a little bit cheaper.
I love
but that's
bomber
the best.
jacket.
Yeah, me too.
Which city outside of London is the best for thrifting?
It sounds like, not to be really bougie, but I really do love when I do a city break in Europe. I will literally just like type in vintage shops on maps and just explore. It's my favourite thing to do. Milan was so good, and they have Humana vintage stores, which are chains. So I've been to one in Lisbon as well. It wasn't as good, but they've got a few around Europe, and they're honestly so affordable. Like you get stuff for like €5, and I just think when you wear it, it's like almost saying, and you can say, "Oh, I made it myself." It's like, well, I got it when I was on holiday.
I got it when I was in uni.
It's actually only €5.
That's so.
It's just the best feeling when you find it feels like a proper like hidden gem. When you find those things. So I do really love a European city break, that kind of thing. But there are loads in the UK, like Leeds, Manchester, great. They have like Blue Rincers, Pop Boutiques, they're really good there. I mean, I could go anywhere. I went to the Lake District last year and found a vintage shop in like this tiny village. Like anywhere I go, I'm going to find
Anywhere I go, I'm going to Google.
Sap, do you have any favourites?
Well, the last one that I've been to outside of London would have been Bristol, because that's where I went to uni.
Bristol's
and they've got some good ones. They do a lot of kilo sales as well, which I used to love at uni.
Love a kilo sale.
They've got some good ones. I think they've got lots of really like edgy, like kind of different brands as well around there.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice for shopping secondhand in person?
My advice is always, do you know, it's so funny I'm wearing this today because this is like my comfortable outfit, but I always wear something that's easy, that I don't have to take off too much in the changing room.
Such a good tip.
Yeah, because sometimes you want to try it on and then you might look down and be like, oh, I've got this, I've got this. So when I wear like just a slim jumpsuit like this, and I've got to take off my jacket or jumper, and then everything could be tried on because it's so close fitted. But that's one of probably my best advice.
My piece of advice would probably be go with your gut, because I think as soon as you pick something up, if you really love it, and just don't get something for the sake of it or be drawn in because it's a bargain.
Yeah.
That's really fun. But it's better if you also really love it and know you're going to get loads of wear out of it.
Yeah.
So I think, go with your gut instinct of, am I just getting this because it's £1,000?
Yeah.
And it's, feels really fun to buy it.
And this is the thing, because also overconsumption is a big problem within the thrifting community.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when it became a big thing, everyone was like, oh, it's so much cheaper. And it's just a thrifting. And then we have thrifting hauls and stuff like that. So now people, instead of having just a whole load of, whether it's fast fashion or high street fashion that they don't wear, they have a whole load of charity stuff that they don't wear and thrifted stuff. So it's like,
and it takes
jumping from one problem to another.
Sustainability messaging behind it, because you're still over consuming. And that you're not wearing all of that stuff. It's still just sat.
And that's the thing, you've got to, if you have got all that stuff, do then take it to a charity shop. Yeah. For online, I would say use the filters. That's what I do. Like if you go on Vestiaire and you type in like, I don't know, Fendi bag, or that's just like a random one I've just thought of. But if you type that in, you're gonna literally so many things are gonna come up. Like filter by color, especially if it's shoes or clothing. You want like your size in there. You want to use the filters. The other thing is alerts. I literally live by the alerts. If I've got like a pair of like something really specific, usually with shoes or like a pair of trainers, I'll put an alert and then wait for it if it comes in either my size if it's not already, or for cheaper, or when the price goes down, or just alerts.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That is a really good one. Also, if you're looking for something really specific, sometimes it might just be spelt wrong.
That's so
description.
Yeah.
So sometimes if there aren't that many coming up, genuinely, I'll just research it and like take a letter out.
Yeah.
Take the last letter.
That's so
out.
smart.
Like,
Okay, next question is favourite charity shops. I mean, Shelter is a good
Yeah, we've got
one.
to say
We do
Shelter.
love Shelter. Shout out to Shelter.
the one around the corner from the office in Clapham is so good.
Yeah, it is actually.
And they have a really cute little homeware section at the back. They have shelves of like, look, they always have really nice glassware. You get like little cocktail glasses, and they're like £1, a lot of the glasses and things. I love it for that kind of stuff. And it's really nice gifts. Like I got my friend a martini glass from there. That's so like £1. It's just like a nice little.
That's good. They do a bit of everything. To be fair, a lot of charity shops aren't just clothes, are they?
No,
So
I love it for homeware now as well.
I also feel like with charity shops, you kind of forget sometimes the fact that like they are actually helping charity, so that it's the money's going somewhere or it's like benefiting someone. So like Shelter.
Yes, Shelter. All their proceeds go towards frontline services helping homelessness. So yeah, it's just a nice way. I think you obviously remember you're buying secondhand. It's good for the planet, sustainability. But it's really nice to remember that you're also supporting that charity too.
Exactly. Do you guys follow any influencers for upcycling inspo? I mean, obviously you are in that space. But anyone else that you like to follow?
Not necessarily for upcycling inspo, but I just love getting inspo from outfit ideas.
Yeah.
I love watching influencers just for their thrifting ideas, like what they found. And then I'm like, I get so jealous.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that? And I know, knowing full well I'm not going to get it myself. But I'm like, I'll look for something like that. But so I do love like following for that reason.
Yeah.
Hattie, what do you follow?
I'm just going to shout out my friend. So her account is designed by Emma Louise and she sells her upcycle products on Etsy. So she does just as a side hustle. She is so good at it, loves doing it. She has loads of headbands. She just like gets fabrics from various places for. And she did a bag for me because I get very attached to my clothing. And I had this faux fur leopard print coat a few years ago that I'd worn, like, honestly, I think I'd been wearing it for at least 5 winters. Like, it was done.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to get rid of it. So I did some little designs, sent it to her, and she made it into a bag for me. And then used the rest for other things that she was doing.
I love that.
So she does commissions. She's really cool. And yeah, she just is great. So I just wanted to give her a little.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to
Go
take
and look
it.
at her Instagram.
I'll have to take it. But upcycling is so good for that. Like, especially with fabrics. Like when my dad passed away, I made some bits and pieces out of his stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Actually, she also, same friend, when my boyfriend's grandpa passed away. It's just so much easier, I think, for the boys, his grandsons, to like take shirts and things. But for the girls, I had some ties, or the material of the ties, made into scrunchies. So all his granddaughters have little scrunchies made out of material from the ties.
So special.
We were kind of speaking about this a little bit before about homeware, but someone has said, I've just moved into my first house. Any recommendations for quirky home bits? So anywhere that you'd go, any ideas of things you could get secondhand?
Do you know what I love getting? You know, decanters.
Yeah, like wine.
Oh,
Yes, like wine and alcohol and all that. But I love them because you could put anything in them anyway, but they make good flower jars, like just for a couple single stem flowers. Good for candle holders if you have the stem candles that you can put in, and then they just kind of drizzle all down the sides. But I love it. I love it to secondhand decanter.
Yeah, so nice.
And then I'll like have a party, invite everyone round, and then pour all the alcohol in the decanters and feel well posh.
Oh my god, I love that. Vinteria, I've heard that's really good for like vintage secondhand bits and bobs.
Yeah, really, they have some really cool stuff. I've also just started, not following, but obsessively checking on Etsy this seller called Froggy Brocante, I think you say it. It's quite kitsch. I'm very into like kitsch, colourful homeware. And it's just like, honestly, they stock so much like plates. They probably have some decanters on there. I found these really cute little egg cups, and they had like, one had cherries on and one had a sunflower on. Just like, if you're into that kind of thing. Not everyone is. Yeah. But that's very my vibe.
Okay, last question. What are your tips for shopping trendy secondhand items online? What are the best search phrases? We kind of touched on this.
Yeah.
Any more tips for that?
I think my biggest tip is know what you want. Know what you're into. Because once you know what it is that you're looking for, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
You're going to find something. So like, I love denim. So if I'm looking for a denim bomber jacket, I'm literally going to type in denim bomber jacket. If I want it vintage, I might type in vintage bomber jacket, or know the year that you want it from, whether it's 70s, 80s or 90s. But I think the main thing is knowing what your style is.
Yeah.
So that you're not just out there just seeing something, oh, I'll get that. And then next minute you see something else. Because once you've looked for it, it's depending on what site you're on. If you are going by sites, you're going to start seeing more of it. And then now you end up with 5 jackets because you're like, well, I like that one better than the one you got last week. So now it's a new one. So really it's about learning your style. For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure to sit on this lovely couch surrounded by pink. No one told me to wear a pink jacket. It just worked perfectly. So yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Happy Secondhand September to everyone listening. And that's the end of the podcast. Thank you so much. Bye.